Welcome to this new vlog about this exciting 4-day journey from Zurich, Switzerland to Istanbul in Turkey. Join us as we explore a legendary train journey through Central Europe, the Balkans and Thrace in 3 consecutive overnight trains as we visit Vienna, Bukarest on the way. On this trip, I'm joined by my friend Joseph, who never took a night train before. Will he or our friendship survive this trip? Hello and welcome to the beautiful city of Zurich, where I will start my journey. This journey is also somewhat a personal revival of the old Orient Express trains. Since 1883, the Compagnie Internationale de Wagons-Lits developed the Orient Express to connect Paris to Constantinople, now Istanbul, via Munich, Vienna, Budapest and Bukarest. After the First World War, to avoid crossing Germany, Austria or Hungary, the Simplon Orient Express offered a different connection through Switzerland and Italy by crossing the famous Simplon Tunnel. The main lines were supplemented by a multitude of direct coaches, providing an extensive network throughout Europe. Unfortunately, in 1977, CIVL stopped operating the Orient Express. Now, only the Belmont Orient Express travels once or twice a year from Paris to Istanbul, with ticket prices starting at about 20,000 euros for the journey. We will somewhat recreate the Arlberg Orient Express, crossing to Vienna through the Arlberg line. From there, we will take a direct train to Bukarest in Romania. After staying overnight in Bukarest, we will head to Istanbul in a direct couchette coach on the famous Bosporus Express. I'm very excited about this journey. As you know, maybe 2 years ago I already went to Turkey by train, but I did another route. I went via Venice and then to Villach in Austria, and from there we took the Optima Express to Edirne, and this time we will go through Romania. It's now just before 8 in the evening, time to get to our first train. It's a busy Wednesday evening in August, and I'm happy that I still could get a berth to Vienna. I share the compartment with 3 business travelers who are going home from a workshop in Zurich. The train leaves on time.
The crew is happy to serve you with snacks and drinks.
The Euronight 4467 leaves Zurich at 8:11 p.m. and arrives in Vienna at 8:17 in the morning. The price for a berth in a 4-berth compartment is between 84 and 184 euros, depending on how early you book and to the demand. It comes with a small breakfast in the morning. The journey itself is pretty uneventful and we arrive on time in Vienna. Unfortunately, Vienna main station is not equipped very well for long-distance traveling. There are no showers in case you arrive overnight, and the locker area is already full early in the morning. One solution can be to look for a public bath close to the main station, such as the Amalienbad, to which you can either take the subway or walk for about 20 minutes. In the meanwhile, I meet up with my friend Joseph, who is joining me on the trip to Istanbul. Joseph is an avid traveler, but he never took a night train before, so let's see what he thinks about it. It's now time to spend the day in Vienna, exploring the city and the local cuisine. In the evening, we return to the main station to get some supplies for the next train, as it does not have a proper dining car since last year anymore. Luckily, our tickets give us access to the nice ÖBB lounge, so we kill the last half hour with some complimentary snacks and drinks. At 8:30, our train is announced and we head to the platform. Our next train will bring us through Hungary to Romania. We will travel from Vienna to Bukarest in the famous Dacia Express, which departs Vienna at 7:42 p.m. and arrives the next day in Bukarest at 3 p.m. That's a whopping 19.5-hour journey through Central Europe. For this odyssey, Joseph and I share a 2-bed sleeper compartment, which costed about 113 euros per person and could be booked on the Romanian Railways website online without any problem. In total, this journey will be 1,115 kilometers. So the train is delayed by 10 minutes. Let's see when it will actually leave.
4,14, der da. Der stand da dran. Ja.
Our compartment looks tight, but it's quite cozy. There could be worse places to spend a journey of 19 hours. But Joseph is a bit more skeptical than I am. So we are now in the sleeper compartment and we are all very happy. It's very nice and cozy here. Bed is already made. Joseph is very excited about his first trip in a sleeper train.
There's 2 trips at the same time, the first and the last. Diese iPhones machen auch so gute Bilder im Dunkeln.
For a sleeper compartment, it's quite narrow, especially compared to a Turkish sleeper train. But the bedding is very comfortable. If you want to see a Turkish sleeper, just click in the video in the description.
Aber es ist eigentlich geil, dass wir morgen so früh raus müssen.
After a short stop in Budapest, we will cross into Romania in the middle of the night. Even though both countries are in the European Union and in Schengen, there are still passport checks if you enter Romania by land, which is especially silly because there are no passport checks anymore when you enter by the plane. After a semi-restful night, we wake up to the Transylvanian flatlands. Besides the passport control, Hungarian and Romanian driving style is not ideal for sleeping, but the wonderful weather and the beautiful landscape are definitely making up for the lack of good sleep. In Arad, a few more Romanian carriages were added to the train. Since the timetable 2024, the Romanian dining car was replaced with a bar car where you can at least get some snacks and coffee. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. The journey is quite slow. An optimist like me would say relaxing. But what does Joseph think about his first night on a train?
LA und mit euch nach San Francisco geflogen und so, da war ich weniger kaputt danach.
Well, I think it's also a matter of experience. As for now, we cross Transylvania to reach the Carpats, all while admiring some Romanian rural architecture. During the day, the Dacia Express also serves as an intercity train, making frequent stops at local train stations. It's now noon and lunchtime, so it's time to get some snacks again from the bar car. In the early afternoon, we reach the Carpathian Mountains, one of the most scenic moments of this journey. But without sleep and proper food, for some this is less enjoyable than for others. After crossing the Carpathian Mountains, we rush towards Bukarest. And we arrive at 4 p.m. with about 40 minutes of delay.
Verspätung 40 Minuten. Und das heißt, in 5 Minuten ist, glaube ich, auch fester Boden unter den
We will stay overnight in Bucharest, so it's time to get to the hotel. It's amazing how frequent and convenient public transportation is in Bucharest. You can even pay contactless in the buses, unthinkable in Germany, Switzerland or Austria. We now have the late afternoon and evening to explore the Romanian capital. It's really a vibrant city with a unique blend of styles. You'll find neoclassical buildings, Belle Époque facades, Art Nouveau, modern and postmodern just meters away from each other. All this connected with a performant public transportation network. Nice.
Reise mit dem Dacia Express. Mach mal ein Resümee.
Wir müssen das in mehreren Kategorien. Also Dauer zu lang. Wie Stunden waren wir jetzt unterwegs? 15? Ich glaube 15. Das ist zu viel. Dann hat er zu oft gehalten leider. Die Innentemperatur war auf jeden Fall sehr angenehm. Überraschenderweise. Die Lautstärke war okay von den anderen Mitreisenden her gesehen, aber von außen kam extrem viel rein. Und dadurch, dass der Zug ständig umgekuppelt oder irgendwas anderes wird, ist dann ständig Unruhe. Dann nachts diese furchtbaren Grenzkontrollen, die auch ewig gedauert haben. Insgesamt bestimmt eine Stunde da mit zum nächsten Bahnhof fahren etc. Das war sehr nervig.
After some more strolling, it's now time to get to bed, to rest for tomorrow's Odyssey. But next time I'll definitely stay longer in Bucharest. Our noble steed on steel wheels picks us up in the morning to bring us to the main station at around 9 p.m. Today we will travel to Istanbul with the Bosporus Express. In fact, it's not a train in the proper sense of the word, but a through coach. You'll quickly see what I mean. The Bosporus Express leaves Bukarest at 10:47 a.m. and arrives at 6 a.m. in Istanbul in the next morning. The only classes you can travel on are 4-berth couchettes, which can be booked online on the website of Romanian Railways for around 55 euros per person.
And now it's time to pick up the tickets that we bought online. You can book the tickets to Istanbul online, but they don't send them in PDF. You have to pick them up at the international guichet, and I will just show you where it is.
Picking up the tickets at Bukarest North Station can be a bit confusing because there are different counters for different companies. The counter for international trains is just next to the big McDonald's and has a Case de Bilet sign.
For us it took like 5 minutes to get them, but according to the online information you have to do it at least 30 minutes before the train leaves.
As I mentioned, the train to Istanbul is not a train in itself. Instead, it's a carriage that travels with other trains. For example, on this place there are no trains to Istanbul, just the IRN 461 to Ruse that our carriage is traveling with. Our carriage is a Turkish State Railways TVS 2000 couchette car, which we will share with other travelers. Until Ruse, our train will be pulled by a diesel engine. Fellow train travelers will know what this usually means. Not enough power for AC. But thankfully, for now it's not too hot yet.
Hallo zusammen.
We are leaving on time to cross Wallachia towards Bulgaria. The Bosporus Express only runs in summer, from mid-June to mid-October. If you travel outside the season, you can still do the journey, you just can take the same trains and change by yourself instead of being shunted around in your couchette car. On the Bosporus Express we will cross the border to Bulgaria, where we'll also have a passport check. As we cross to Bulgaria at 1 p.m, it's a welcome opportunity to get some fresh air, stretch legs and chat with the fellow travelers. After leaving Romania, we cross the Danube to Ruse in Bulgaria. This is the beginning of many shunting operations to witness until we will arrive in Turkey. The atmosphere is extremely relaxed and we get to know our journey mates pretty well. In Ruse, we spot the Bosporus Express heading north towards Bukarest. But despite now having a Bulgarian electric locomotive, the AC still does not work, so we can only get some fresh air through the half-open windows. So what does Joseph think about this part of the journey?
Deutlich angenehmer. Wir haben lustige Leute getroffen, aus UK, aus wo auch immer. Und der Zug ist auch angenehmer, er ist recht leer. Und dafür ist es halt sehr heiß. Und unser Train Conductor auf der anderen Seite der Kamera, was man jetzt nicht sehen kann, fixt gerade die AC, oder zumindest tut er sein Bestes. Aber ich befürchte, das Beste wird nicht reichen. Aber wir glauben an ihn.
In Gorna, our carriage will be added to the next train, which will take us until Dimitrovgrad in Bulgaria. Again, it's time to stretch our legs and to observe some real railway shunting operations. A few Bulgarian carriages are added to our Turkish carriages and the whole group is then added at the end of the 461 to Dimitrovgrad. For each of the trains our carriage takes, we get a different check mark on our ticket. The 461 to Dimitrovgrad is a regional train in Bulgaria that stops frequently. We get to see the beauty of northern Bulgaria while approaching the Great Balkan Mountains. In the late evening, we reach the Balkan Massif, which could not be more scenic. It's really the perfect time to observe the landscape while being calmed by a repetitive fish plate jingle. Unfortunately, none of the trains this through coach travels with has a bar or a dining car, so you really need to take enough supplies to last until Istanbul.
Like 2,000 feet, 2,300. Billig. Face through.
As the sun is now set, it's time to get a few hours of sleep in the quite comfortable berths. At 22 p.m. we arrive at Dimitrovgrad. From here we will continue with the Sofia Istanbul night train, the famous Sofia Express. But as it seems, the Sofia Express is delayed by 3 hours, so we have some time to explore the station of Dimitrovgrad. I'm not too mad about the delay, because this means we will cross to Turkey later in the night. The border in Kapıkule is notoriously annoying for travelers, as the passport control does not take place in the trains, but everyone has to leave the train and queue up for a passport and a luggage check. The border check is supposed to be at 2 AM according to the schedule, so at the worst time possible for an uninterrupted sleep. After returning to the carriages, I fell asleep and didn't even notice that we were attached to our new train that was delayed. Finally, we arrived in Kapıkule at 5 AM, so at least we could get some sleep for the next 5 to 6 hours. The Bulgarian loco is changed for a Turkish pair of electric and diesel locomotives. There is a duty-free, snacks and cats. The passport check and luggage check was extremely chaotic. Good morning from Scenic in Thrace. It's now 10 PM and we should have arrived in Istanbul 4 hours ago. I'm not too mad, because the interrupted sleep then could at least be snoozed off while observing the wonderful, lush Thracian landscapes. At 10:30 AM we reach the wider Istanbul region. And at 11 AM we finally reach Istanbul, Halkalı, with about 5 hours of delay. It's now time to say goodbye to our journey mates and to continue towards the center of the city with the local Marmaray commuter train. Unfortunately, Istanbul transit is not as simple as Bukarest, but it's pretty good nevertheless. Thankfully this year, most ticket machines were replaced by newer ones that also take credit cards. In Kazlı-Çeşme, we changed trains. This spring, the old overland line along the Sea of Marmara and the Bosporus Strait was reopened. Every 20 minutes, a train or tram, according to the network map, runs between Kazlı-Çeşme and Sirkeci along the historic route. This is probably the most classical entry to Istanbul. We can also spot plenty of historic buildings, such as the Küçük Ayasofya Cami or the former Byzantine city walls. Despite the experience is a bit underwhelming because you feel like in a jail from all the barbed wire, it's really the absolute unique way of entering the city. While I am in awe of finally arriving in Istanbul in Sirkeci, Joseph's patience is running low.
Jetzt wirklich die Schnauze voll. Du kannst jetzt einfach mit diesem Hotel, du kannst den ganzen Tag hier rumrennen und jeden Zug benutzen.
So, im Moment warten wir auf dich.
After 2,900 kilometers and 55 hours on trains, we finally made it into the city of world's desire. And it's now time to explore. Due to the retro style of our travel, we crossed the Bosporus with one of the many ferries.